Hello, it is 9 p.m. at this time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the head of state presides over the ceremony of the 75th anniversary of the creation of the Djibouti franc. For the international scene in Gaza, at least 46 Palestinians killed in 24 hours. Welcome to our newsroom. This morning, the Central Bank of Djibouti celebrated the 75th anniversary of the creation of the Djiboutian franc at the prestigious ceremony held at the embassy under the patronage of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic. This landmark event was attended by leading political, economic, and financial figures testifying to the historical and economic importance of this currency. On his arrival at the ceremony, His Excellency the President of the Republic was warmly welcomed by Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed in the presence of the Minister of Finance and the Governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti. Mr. Ahmed Ousmane, the head of state, then visited the stands retracing the history of the Djibouti franc, a stable currency with a 75-year history. The Djibouti franc, introduced in 1949, is a stable and solid currency that has accompanied the country's development through these 75 years. This jubilee is not just a commemoration, but an opportunity to reflect on past achievements and reaffirm the commitment to a prosperous and sustainable future for all Djiboutians. This celebration takes place against a backdrop of economic dynamism, with a rapidly expanding country and a currency that has stood the test of time while remaining true to its role as a pillar of the Djiboutian economy. The Central Bank of Djibouti, in collaboration with the public authorities and private partners, continues to implement policies aimed at reinforcing financial stability and supporting economic and social initiatives for the benefit of the Djibouti citizens. After visiting the stands, the event was also marked by songs and musical performances reflecting the festivities and celebrations of the 75th anniversaries of the Djiboutian franc. This celebration is taking place against a backdrop of economic dynamism as the country continues to grow, with a currency that remains true to its fundamental role in Djibouti's economic stability. The central bank governor Ahmed Ousmane reminds of the role played by the Djibouti franc throughout the years. The Djiboutian franc, created in 1949 and historically linked to the US dollar, remains a pillar of stability for the countries in a global context of interconnected polycrises, be the economic, health, climatic, and geopolitical. Since its creation, it has guaranteed the confidence necessary for the growth of our economy, enabling Djibouti to protect itself against the currency turbulences that has affected other nations. For his part, the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dawale, reminded that the Djibouti franc guarantees monetary and financial stability. It is an essential lever for attracting investment and giving confidence to our partners. Listen to the Minister.
Nous célébrons non seulement une monnaie, mais aussi un moteur clé de notre transformation économique.
We are gathered today to celebrate an emblematic moment in the story of our country, the 75th anniversary of the Djiboutian franc. This anniversary is not simply a commemoration. It is an opportunity to reflect on our journey, to celebrate our success, and above all, to reaffirm our vision for the future in a global context of unprecedented challenges and opportunities. In this period marked by polycrisis, interconnected crises, whether economic, health, climatic, or geopolitical, the Djiboutian franc remains a basis of stability for our nation. Since its creation in 1949 and its historical foundation to the American dollar, it has guaranteed the confidence and stability necessary for our development. Faced with global turbulence, Djibouti has demonstrated resilience, avoiding the monetary instabilities that have been weakened other economies. As we look to the future, we must be aware of the challenges that lie ahead. Digital transformations, environmental crises, and geopolitical tensions require an unprecedented capacity for adaptation. But these challenges are also an opportunity to reinvent our economic model and make Djibouti an example of inclusive, sustainable, as well innovative development. The Djiboutian franc will continue to play a central role in this transition. It will be a tool for financial inclusion, allowing every citizen, wherever they are, to participate fully in the national economy. It will also be a lever for transformation, promoting investment in forward-looking projects and supporting the ambitions of our youth. The Djiboutian franc is not just a currency. By celebrating its 75th anniversary, we pay tribute to the legacy of our elders, but above all, to the chief architect who has been able to capitalize on this heritage and who fought all the battles of these last 2 decades of transformation, continued growth, and the prestige of our Djibouti on the international scene. You understood correctly. It is about our leader, President Ismail Omar Guelleh.
During this commemoration, President Ismail Omar Guelleh recalled the past achievement and reaffirmed the commitment to a prosperous and sustainable future for all Djiboutians. Listen to the head of state.
الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. J'ai vécu en présence ou à l'ombre.
I had the opportunity to live alongside our predecessor and gather important memories about the Djiboutian franc, which has become a symbol of our country, heritage, and future vision. Created after World War II, the Djiboutian franc was born in a competitive environment. At the time, Djibouti port was declared a free port, exempt from customs duties, which led to fierce competition, especially with the port of Aden. In this context, Djibouti understood the strategic value of its currency. The ability to manage the Djiboutian franc allowed the country to gain a competitive edge, attract investments, and strengthen its economic position. By linking the franc to the US dollar, Djibouti ensured stability and shielded itself from monetary turbulence. Today, we celebrate the Djiboutian franc not only as a currency, but also as a symbol of economic resilience and sovereignty, essential for Djibouti's growth and its future as a major regional economic force.
Djiboutian franc remains a pillar of stability for the countries in a global context of interconnected polycrisis, be they economic, health, climatic, and geopolitical. Listen once again to the head of state.
taariikhda ayaa na saaciday.
History has placed us at the heart of a booming geostrategic crossroads where circular trade has long been our reality. Since the Second World War, our region did change. At the time, the only ships that passed through our waters were warships and commercial vessels that did not go beyond Port Said, with sailors talking only about landmark ports. At the time, our trade was limited, mainly the livestock and shipping. The accounts of those who worked in maritime affairs emphasized that our trade relations were essentially focused on Yemen and imports from Ethiopia, mainly by rail. Faced with this reality, our mission was to use our resources wisely to protect our population from the harmful effects of high living costs and inflation caused by external shocks. It is against this backdrop that we salute the Djibouti franc today, a currency of inestimable value to our country. To guide our people towards promising future, it is imperative that we focus on economic growth and monetary stability. Every action we take requires the right tools, and the Djibouti franc is our greatest asset. This currency is beneficial for all our trading partners as it ensures transparency and avoids any confusion. Thanks to this, our economic forecast can be aligned with our development objectives. Today, we come together not only to celebrate the Djibouti franc, but also to affirm our commitment to responsible governance. It is by placing our currency at the heart of our development strategy that we build a bright future for our nation. Together, let's make this day a celebration of our unity and our determination to make the Djibouti franc the pillar of our success.
The President of the Republic expressed his deeply moving tribute to the late Said Ali Kubesh. Listen to the head of state.
waxaan jeclahay inaanan halkan ka dhaadhicin anigoo noon.
The President of the Republic expressed his deeply moving tribute to the late Said Ali Kubesh, praying that the Almighty Allah will welcome him into his eternal paradise. He stressed that Kubesh's legacy will forever mark the history of the nation, that no one will be able to forget the invaluable contributions he made to Djibouti. The President gaily described Said Ali Kubesh as an exceptional man, a fundamental pillar in the struggle for independence and sovereignty. At a difficult time when the country's security was being put to the test, Said Ali Kubesh stood up, defending the country's interests with unwavering passion. While the rest of us were absorbed in a host of challenges, he was able to anticipate the threats to the national currency, the Djibouti franc, he said. The President Ismail Omar Guelleh recalled that faced with temptations to align with foreign agendas, Said Ali Kubesh bravely took a stand, refusing to let the national currency fall under the influence of powers wishing to integrate it into the CFA franc system. His commitment to preserving economic independence was a testament to his loyalty to the people and land of Djibouti. The President of the Republic stated that Kubesh was the first to fight to safeguard monetary sovereignty, aware that this was essential for the country's autonomy. Thanks to his leadership, the nation has been able to preserve its identity and dignity. The President said that this tribute reflected internal gratitude to a man who had given so much for Djibouti, assuring that his name will remain engraved in the annals of history.
The launch of the school caravan initiated as part of the celebrations for the 75th anniversary of the Djibouti franc, an educational initiative for young Djiboutians. What was the focus on this educational and interactive initiative? An interactive initiative has three main objectives: educate young people about the history of the Djibouti franc, a true symbol of our economic and national identity; raise awareness of the challenges of financial management and the importance of the money in the country's economic development; inspire students by offering them a perspective on the history and future of the Djibouti franc through dynamic activities. Students had the opportunity to discover a historical exhibition showcasing the evolutions of the Djibouti franc through exceptional relics, old banknotes, rare coins, and a chart illustrating the major stages of its history. Participate in interactive educational activities designed to make learning about monetary engaging. Test their knowledge in a special quiz designated for the occasions, offering a fun and educational dimensions to the event. Students had the chance to interact with experts who will share their knowledge, so answers, and questions, reinforcing their understandings of the importance of money and its impact on their daily lives. After its launch in the capital's high school, the school caravan will crisscross Djibouti's 5 regions. The Djibouti franc, introduced in 1959, is a symbol of the country's sovereignty and economic stability. Throughout this caravan, the Central Bank of Djibouti wishes to involve Djibouti's youth in these celebrations, making them aware of their future role in the country's economic development. Yesterday, for the first time this year, a milestone in the process of modernizing the National Archives took place with the transfer of a new batch of definitive presidential archives. A milestone in the process of modernizing the National Archives, the transfer of a new batch of definitive presidential archives is part of an ongoing commitment to the preservation and enhancement of our documentary heritage and to the transparency and accessibility of our archival holdings. This third batch, comprising 200 physical boxes, represent a significant step forward in the digitization and conservation of the historical document of the Presidency of the Republic. At the same time, a digital version of these archives has been made available, comprising no fewer than 10,000 files. The aim of this initiative is not only to facilitate access to precious documents for researchers and the general public, but also to ensure their preservation for future generations. Indeed, since the beginning of this year, the Presidency had already donated a total of 559 boxes that are carefully sorted and packaged to ensure their integrity. The Presidency of the Republic thus continues to demonstrate its commitment to transparency and accessibility of archives while honoring the duty of remembrance incumbent on our institution. For his part, the director of archives said that this transfer testifies to a strong commitment to the preservation and enhancement of our documentary heritage. These archives are accompanied by a digital version comprising 45,000 files, enabling this historic document to be consulted online. As a result, the presidential archives, which cover a multitude of subjects ranging from political decisions to significant events in our history, are an invaluable resources for researchers, historians, and citizens alike. The management of Djibouti's radio televisions of Djibouti hosted the launch of a training courses for RTD's archives staff this morning in the RTD meeting room. As part of its ongoing commitment to enhancing the skills of its teams and improving the management of its documentary heritage, the aim of this initiative is to equip archive professionals with the tools and knowledge they need to effectively manage video and information in an increasingly digital and demanding environment. The training courses, which will take place over 5 days, is led by recognized experts in the field of archiving from Turkish radio television. It will cover a wide range of topics, including the management of audiovisual archives, the digitization of collections, and best practices in the conservation and enhancement of archives. Through this training, RTD aims to strengthen the capacity of its staff to preserve the country's audiovisual history, guarantee accessibility to archives, and ensure their security for future generations. This in line with the RTD's policy of modernizing its services, which places particular emphasis on the optimal management of archival resources to ensure that historical document. The Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Diaidin Said Ben Makrama, was received in audience on Thursday, December 12, 2024 by His Excellency Mr. Walid Al-Khareji, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Saudi Arabia. During the meeting, the two officials discussed the existing close bilateral relations between the two brotherly states, as well as several topics of common interest. The UNFT, in collaboration with UNICEF, organized a public declaration ceremony for the total abandonment of all forms of female genital mutilations at the Wahdadaba CDC, attended by the 5th District Prefect, the President of Wahdadaba RPP Annex, and representatives of UNFT. The ceremony began with a testimonial concerning the total abandonment of female genital mutilations, after which an award was given by the UNFT has rewarded the Community Management Committee for their awareness raising. For the international scene, in Gaza, at least 46 more Palestinians killed in an Israeli attack. Listen to the report.
46 more Palestinians were killed in Israeli attacks in the Gaza Strip, bringing the overall death toll since last year to 44,000, the health ministry in the enclave said on Sunday. Israeli forces killed 46 people and injured 135 others in 5 massacres of families in the last 24 hours, the ministry said. Many people are still trapped under the rubble and on the roads as rescuers and are unable to reach them, it added. The second year of genocide in Gaza has drawn growing international condemnation, with officials and institutions labeling the attacks and blocking of aid deliveries as a deliberate attempt to destroy a population. Last month, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza.
In Mayotte, deaths and injuries after Cyclone Chido. Listen to the report.
Hundreds of people and possibly even thousands may have been killed when the most powerful cyclone in nearly a century hit the France, India, a senior local French official said. Asked about the death toll from Cyclone Chido, the French Interior Ministry said it would be difficult to account for all victims and a figure could not be determined at this stage. Cyclone Chido hit Mayotte overnight, Meteo France said, damaging housing, government buildings and a hospital. It was the strongest storm in more than 90 years to hit the island, the forecaster said. Aerial footage shared by the French gendarmerie showed the wreckage of hundreds of makeshift houses strewn across the hills of one of Mayotte's islands, which have been a focal point for illegal immigration for nearby.
And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.